July 14th. Our reading today, we'll see what I think of it the second time I read it when I read it with you. I'm not sure that I 100% agree with it, which is okay. But we'll see. Maybe I'll think different. So our quote is from Robert Browning Hamilton. I walked a mile with sorrow, and never a word she said. But oh, the things I learned from her when sorrow walked with me. I have no idea what that means. We may think that forgetting the past is essential for growth and peace of mind. It's a tempting idea. We'll start again. We'll think fresh and new. But if we lose that old pain, we'll also lose all that we learned. We may repeat our mistakes or make even worse ones next time. Dwelling on the past is equally dangerous. We began recovery to build a better life. To find and maintain our balance, each area of our lives needs attention. A healthy mind and a healthy body is free to find God. And with God's help, we can learn to recognize and forgive our past mistakes while we keep the remarkable lessons we learned from life. With our remembering, with our inventory, we can truly experience the repentance that frees us from regret and remorse. When we acknowledge our mistakes, we can learn from them and come to forgive ourselves. Today, help me use my memories to learn and change. Help me to forgive my past. I think the part I'm struggling with was about like hanging on to the past. And now that I reread it, I'm a little more settled in what they're trying to say. I connect it more with complacency now. Like if we don't think about the damage we did when we were gambling, we may not stay on track. You know, we may think we got this. For me, the first time it was hanging on to the pain and the fear. I think where I disagree, like I know most of whatever's happened in my life up until this point. I've shared with you before, my memory is not super stellar. And I've come to a place of peace with that. Like I acknowledge that X, Y, Z happened or didn't happen or had a place in my life. But I don't hang on to that daily in a way that restricts me from moving forward. I have to share some of that just because of the nature of trying to be of service to other gamblers who want to quit and raising awareness, you know, even telling strangers, you know, kind of what this was all about. If we do the forgiving of our past actions, if we separate, this is where I kind of blend my philosophies on recovery. But if we blend what we've learned and the pain into like a moving forward, like education to move forward. I'm struggling with this one. Can you tell to explain? For me, and I've shared this with you, I'm closing the chapter on the first 45 years of my life. That's the way I look at it. Not that it never happened. Not that I am totally going to put it out of my mind, but it's not, I guess the distinction is I'm not sitting here going, poor me, this happened, my life sucks, I can't move forward, you don't understand. And I know people like that, and it's not very productive. So instead, for me, what's worked the best is thank you, universe, for all these learnings and the pain and the good stuff too. All this crazy stuff that was my life. Thank you for all of that. Now, I'm grateful for the clarity that all those things had a role in my life. They gave me purpose, but I don't need to hang on to them. I don't need to be, for me, I don't necessarily need to be reminded of the misery every day. It's always there, but it's there in a way that it's just a contrast to what today looks like and the gratitude I have for, every moment. All right, we'll use people dying as a example. I believe that a huge part of why I did a lot of things had to do with how much loss I had in my childhood, my teenage years specifically. And it really, I believe, impacted my choices and my behaviors and all of that. Now, today, it's not that I forgot about those people or the pain of the loss or any of that. I just don't use that as hiding behind and not knowing that the grass is, like if all that didn't happen, I may not appreciate people, for example, like that life is precious, especially because, again, I feel like I went through the same wave since October till now, from friends in high school to family members to people in my everyday life to people I've known for years and years. To lose someone like literally every single month since October, it's a lot. And if I wasn't where I am today mentally from doing the work, I could have went down this rabbit hole of life's too short. I could have got the fuck it. I could have, instead of bawling to you, for that 2-day period where I like lost my shit and had to process my feelings, I could have buried all that, but then I'd be gambling or drinking. Probably drinking first, which may have led to gambling, but I can't hang on to that kind of stuff anymore. I can accept it. I can feel it. I can remember it, but I can't live in it. I can't have a pity party for myself. I can't use it as an excuse. Instead, I have to, like I said, kind of flip the script and have so much gratitude for all the things that I do have and that I've had all along. I never noticed or never paid attention. Instead of finding the upside to most things, I could find myself in a negative place. I don't think that negativity is any coincidence with my addictions. It's just not. So what I'm trying to say that I don't like about the reading is the almost like we have to hang on to it. We do a little bit as reminders, but we need to process things and move past things so that we can move forward and we can grow. I know I sounded really twisted here reading this one, but my words are like walking that same tightrope that I believe this reading is. The past is just I don't know, it's just such a freaking crazy thing. I mean, when dealing with a lot of the shit around Bob's death, and to have 4 people standing in a circle, all with very different impressions of what Bob meant to them. I mean, there was rage and anger. There was confusion. There was someone out of the 4 of us that like loved him and had good memories. There was like all these different degrees. And then what we choose to do with them from those degrees. Now, the person with the rage exhibits the rage and anger and stuff in everyday life. The one with the loving memories and stuff is going through life, going through the motions. I don't know that she's one extreme or the other. Like, I don't think she's in misery, but I don't think she's in fulfillment. And again, this is all just my outside looking in. The next one, who was confused and open-minded, which is actually more the place I kind of was. I was trying really hard to be in a place of forgiveness and, again, gratitude for, if he wasn't the way he was, I wouldn't be the way I am. And even at the end of the day, he contributed to me being here in the sense that as a sperm donor, here I am. So I can feel gratitude towards him now. It hasn't always been that way. I was in all those other places that this group of 4 that, I'm just imagining one of the scenes from that weekend in Connecticut. And I don't recommend remembering the past so much that you live in a place of rage and anger and despair almost. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's what I don't want you to walk away from the reading with. Remember enough that it keeps you in a place of gratitude and maybe a little healthy respect or fear to not want to go back. Woo, getting up at 4 a.m., giving you the yawn. Sorry about that. Yeah, I feel like I'm going a little bit in circles here, and I do apologize if I'm being unclear. I think, live for today and those kind of mantras or slogans could be applicable here. This is what I would ask of you, if you could make sense of what I just said. Maybe reflect back and see how your past fits into your journey, and see for yourself. Is it impacting you in a good way? Is it something that still eats at your core? Because there's 2 different parts of this. There's how do we perceive it, and then how does it transpire into the present? So you have to decide that for yourself. So just do some reflecting and see if it plays a part into, if you're still gambling. Are you still gambling because there's stuff that hasn't been acknowledged or that you have strong feelings about that you've just pushed down in your bucket and never released, never processed, never went through? Like, that's totally what my biggest problem was in life, was the burying and the hiding behind the walls. And if I didn't learn to get vulnerable, like, still to this day when I say that word, I feel my belly want to clench and be like, no, don't say that word. And it's still a practice to be that way and to be that open and that transparent. So anyway, but life is better once it's all gone. I know I tell you that all the time, but it really is. All right, beautiful people. I hope that your Tuesday is fabulous. Oh my goodness. What bad manners. I'm not trying to have bad manners. I stayed up. I got up at 3:30-ish, and I have to go drop my car off because of, the ticket from Saturday. So the place opens at 6, and I figured I would spend some time with you before I got immersed in my day. There's a lot going on, so all good stuff. I know that there's quite a few of you that listen in different pockets of the country that are closing back down, and the kind of taken a step backwards due to the COVID numbers and everything. I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I'm hoping that everyone, stays as healthy as possible. And from a mental perspective, we've survived this long. Got to try to stay positive. Everything happens for a reason. This whole each state kind of doing their own thing is almost like a science experiment. And I think that different results are happening because of that. And maybe through enough time, they'll take the best results and apply it across the board. At least that's what I'm hoping. But we'll get through this. We will get through this because eventually it'll be part of our past that we're not using as an excuse to hang on to shit, but maybe as a way to learn and define our future life. There we go. That made sense. Okay, I'm going to get more coffee and drop off my car. I'll see you guys tonight. And you well understood.